This is one of the least liked places on Earth, a desert nearly devoid of human life. Yet, amidst this desolation, a remarkable feat of engineering is taking shape, one that can only be described as extraordinary. In the heart of Chile's Atacama Desert, atop a mountain peak 10,000 feet above sea level, construction is underway on the world's largest telescope. When completed, this telescope, standing 40 feet taller than the Leaning Tower of Pisa, will be able to observe distant planets in the universe 5,200 times closer than the naked eye and capture images 15 times sharper than the Hubble Space Telescope. Building the world's largest telescope in the driest place on Earth is nothing short of a miracle. The Atacama Desert, after Antarctica, is the driest region in the world. There are areas here where not a single drop of rain has fallen in recorded history. Yet, scientists are constructing a telescope that can look back in time to the first galaxies, stars, and planets of the universe. It will help in the search for Earth-like planets and support scientists in uncovering the mysteries of space. However, the challenges faced by the scientists and construction team during the creation of a football field-sized dome in the desert's high-altitude conditions are equally remarkable. Stretching over 1,000 kilometers along South America's Pacific Ocean front, the Atacama Desert is considered the driest place on Earth after Antarctica. Its unique natural landscape includes volcanoes, the salt-filled expanses of Death Valley, and a rare sequence of fogs unmatched anywhere else in the world. However, what it lacks most is water. Due to the unique topography of the Atacama Desert, rainfall is virtually non-existent, with some areas never having seen even a single drop of rain. This extreme aridity makes it resemble an alien planet, which is why the European Space Agency also tested its Mars rover here. Located 1,300 kilometers from Santiago, Chile's capital, and 130 kilometers from the nearest town, the telescope is being constructed on a mountain 10,000 feet above sea level. This extraordinary project offers humanity a glimpse into other worlds in space. The European Southern Observatory, ESO, is leading the construction of this massive telescope, known as the Extremely Large Telescope, or ELT. While it is still under construction, the sheer scale of this telescope justifies its name. The telescope will feature a massive mirror with a diameter of 39 meters, 4 times larger than any existing telescope. This extraordinary mirror will collect 10 million times more light than the human eye, provided not a speck of dust lands on it. To protect it, the telescope will be enclosed in a giant steel dome weighing nearly 6,000 tons, equivalent to 2,400 pickup trucks. This dome will have 2 large doors that remain closed during the day. It is so tall that the Statue of Liberty could fit inside, and its floor area is large enough to fit an entire football field. The dome will sit on a high-tech platform capable of rotating 360 degrees, allowing the telescope to view any part of the night sky. It is astonishing to think how the construction team began this challenging project in such a remote area where there were no roads, electricity, or water, and construction had to be done atop a mountain. The ESO team first scouted several locations in Europe, but ultimately chose this spot in South America. The reasons for selecting this location were many. They needed a place far from any cities to avoid light pollution, as artificial light from cities can obscure telescope images. While many remote mountain locations in Europe also met this criterion, the Atacama Desert offered something more: clear skies. With its dry climate, the Atacama Desert has 320 cloudless nights out of 365 in a year, which is crucial for observing distant galaxies. In 2010, the ESO team tested various sites, and concluded that the Cerro Armazones mountain in the Atacama Desert was the best location. However, this mountain presented a challenge. Unlike other peaks, it was sharply pointed, making construction almost impossible in its natural state. To address this, the mountain's peak was leveled, creating a flat area equivalent to 7 football fields. Imagine leveling a 3,000-meter high-pointed mountain to create a massive flat platform. Using explosives, the construction team drilled holes into the mountain's peak and detonated them remotely, removing 100 meters of the mountaintop. This process displaced 4.7 million cubic meters of rock and soil, enough to fill 1,911 Olympic-sized swimming pools. The removed soil was replaced, and access roads were built to the summit. Despite leveling the peak, a significant challenge arose. Sinkholes began forming across the mountaintop. These sinkholes were caused by cracks and weakened areas in the mountain's core due to the use of explosives. Engineers addressed this issue by drilling into the ground and using vibrations to artificially stabilize the soil, allowing all potential sinkholes to form at once. Once the area was stabilized, the sinkholes were filled, and the mountaintop was leveled again. This process took 5 years to complete. Next came the foundation for the ELT. Given that this area is seismically active, experiencing frequent earthquakes, the foundation had to be isolated from the dome above. Hydraulic shock absorbers were installed between the foundation and the dome to absorb earthquake shocks and prevent damage to the telescope's delicate components. The construction of the ELT's dome began in 2023. Its steel structure was pre-assembled at a base camp and transported to the summit using remote-controlled trucks. Cranes then joined the steel frames together like pieces of a Lego set. The telescope's 39-meter mirror, made up of 800 smaller segments, will capture and multiply light from space, sending it to a secondary mirror, M2. From there, the light will pass through M3 and M4, where adaptive optics will enhance the image's sharpness. High-powered lasers on the dome create artificial stars in the atmosphere, which the telescope uses as reference points to correct distortions caused by atmospheric turbulence. ELT will be the first telescope capable of directly photographing exoplanets beyond our solar system. These photographs may reveal whether these planets have atmospheres and conditions similar to Earth. The ELT's large mirror will also allow scientists to look back at the early days of the universe, capturing light from over 13.5 billion years ago, shortly after the Big Bang. With an estimated cost of $1.6 billion, 13,600 crores, equivalent to the cost of building the Burj Khalifa, the ELT is expected to be completed by 2029. Once operational, it may finally answer the question of whether we are alone in the universe or if life exists on distant Earth-like planets.